Hey guys, it's Kimberly and we are back in the workshop. I am going to give us a little moment to see if anyone is jumping on with us tonight. And I have this table that we will be working on. I guess I need to bring y'all down a little bit so you can kind of see. So I've got some things set up here. If you are new to our page, I'm Kimberly. I'm with Unique Finds and Furniture Designs. We are premier retailers for Dixie Belle chalk paint, and so most of our workshops feature that product as well as other products. Just depends on what we're getting into. So this evening we'll be working on this ornate table, but we're going to do from beginning. As we always do in these workshops, I always try to do start to finish, and so we were working on the little blue table, which I have over here, that I was adding some gemstone mousse to. I might pull that over and let y'all see that. But tonight's new project is obviously this table. I have some gloves here. I have my white lightning cleaner already pre-mixed. I haven't cleaned it or done anything to it because this is from beginning, because I try to meet the needs of some people out there who have been having some questions lately at the booths about, so we just don't have to prep anything. There's no prep, I can just go ahead and paint. That's not necessarily the case. In my opinion, there's always prep. So prep is super important. Your paint projects are only going to be as good as your prep. So I never skip that. That's one of those, that's just one of the series that I always do. That's a step. It's important to do it. And you can see the sheen on the top of this table. So obviously I'm going to have to do some prep to it. You can see that it's an older vintage one. So depending on what paint line I'm working with, if I'm working with the chalk mineral base, I'm going to have to use a boss. I'm going to have to clean it. I'm going to have to boss it, because I don't want it to stain on these older pieces to come back through. I think you can kind of see. I might even tilt you down a little bit more there so that you can see that under here it's super dark, the table's super dark, so that stain you would have to have a stain blocker for. So in order to do that, you'll use Boss, or you will use the all new silk, which already has that in it for you. So the silk line does already have a bleed blocker as well as a top coat in it. So it's kind of really quick. So your prep is still a little bit, I still do my prep, which is clean. I haven't done that yet, but we're going to do that. I also have, which I have here in front of us, is the silk paint. And let me grab this. I have the white lightning cleaner. That's what I was showing you. I already have pre-mixed in my jug. And it's that powder cleaner. Hey Donna, hope you're good. And so yes, always clean your piece. I feel like that's super important. I haven't done it. Like I said, we're fixing to do that together, so maybe you can see why we clean it. This table also has a couple of imperfections in the veneer. So what I mean by that, a couple of chips. So we're also going to implement the Dixie Mud tonight. And we probably won't get it painted tonight, but we'll probably paint it on our Thursday live. And we will be using the silk line again because it already has the bleed blocker in it. So I'm going to go with it. You know, I just painted that big dining set behind me, and I had to boss everything because I was using the chalk line. So it just depends which line you're using, what you're going to need. But you definitely are going to need a stain blocker if you're going with those lighter colors. I could get by using a black or a dark blue, heavy pigmented color that I would be painting it with. If you use that, then you might not see a bleed through because you're using a really dark pigmented color. You see how dark this is. So you could skim by and you'd be all right. But if you paint it in a white color or a gray, good possibility it's going to bleed through, so don't even stress about it. Just go ahead and put your Boss on it if you're using the chalk mineral line, and then you're good to go. Let it dry overnight and go ahead and paint. So that's no biggie. Just a step you want to take, because some steps are super important, and so that's why I say no. I would never skip a step. Also on this piece, because I am using the silk or any line really, you're going to kind of scuff sand it a little bit. So we're going to do those things. We're going to prep this table for paint so that on our Thursday Night Live you will see us do the paint. And we're also going to do some, and I'm going to pull you down here so you guys can see. Hopefully my phone won't pop off because it does sometimes. You can see this ornate detail on this piece. You might not be able to see it as well now, but you will when I get done with it, because I'm going to make it pop, and I'm going to do that possibly with the gemstone mousse, but most likely I'll probably come in here with our gilding wax and kind of like a warm gold gilding wax against that royal blue, and it's going to really bring this table way up into today's world and be something somebody's going to want to grab their hands on and put it in probably someplace nautical. It would be really pretty there with the gold and the blue, or even just a royal. It's very royal and rich looking. So that's what I'm going to do to this, and right now it just looks kind of tired. So I'm going to show it some Dixie Belle love on these lives. So I'm going to get started here. So yes, I do have my gloves, just because my hands are always in this chemical cleaners and all this kind of stuff, and it does get hard on your hands, especially in the winter time. It just sort of dries us out. On top of using all the alcohol, you know, using our sanitizer and washing our hands as much as we are, it really takes a toll on your skin. So I'm using my gloves. Again, I have my White Lightning cleaner. I have it in a Bona bottle just because I really like the sprayer on this. So, you know, reduce, reuse, and recycle. So here we go. I'm going to use this bottle. And I do have a green, one of those little Scotch-Brites. I do carry these also at our booth so that you guys can kind of have a one-stop shop. Our brushes are en route, so hopefully we'll have your paint, your brushes, your scouring pads, your cleaner, your sanding disc, all those little things that it's going to take to, and this is our little sanding disc, just kind of get you going where you need to be. I'm in the process of making you all some kits as well. Had a request for that as well, so you just come in and I'm going to have some dresser makeover kits and some kitchen cabinets makeover kits, and kits made up so that when I'm not there, because I'm not always there, I'm going around and I'm delivering different product to different locations, so I don't get to talk to everyone. So I will have those available for you and make it easier on some of the store owners that are trying to answer your questions as best they know how. So, but you can always reach out to me. We do have new cards and stuff over there, so you can just kind of scan that card and it'll get you right to where you need to be on our Facebook page. And you'll have access to those videos and all that fun stuff. So all of that is at our booths currently. So that'll help you all a whole lot. So I'm going to tilt you down a little bit because I need to get in here and get to cleaning. So I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to spray my cleaner all up under. I'm not going to do underneath, because right up underneath, because that's where on this particular piece, that's where the history lies. And you guys know me, I don't like to take out any history on anything I'm working on. But I am going to spray this in here because I am sure that this has been, and you can see here along the edge, see the little chip out of it? Right here is another chip. Hopefully y'all can see that. We're going to take care of these chips with our Dixie mud. But I'm going to clean it first because even with my mud, I want to make sure that it has something to adhere to as well. The whole purpose of doing the cleaning is to get the grease off. We want to make sure, I'm going to do the bottom half first, you guys, and then work my way up to the top. So again, I'm going to take my little Scotch-Brite here. I'm going to laden it as well. So yeah, it's a little messy. I get mine good and wet because, like I said, whoop, I just flick that everywhere. It's real slick, see? It's not slick enough. I'm going to need slick stick. It's just because of the wax, or I don't want to say wax, or pledge, or Old English, or whatever was put on this piece before I got it. You guys know Old English was a real popular way of, and you'll see, I don't know if you can see that now, but you would be able to see the difference when you put your or a cleaner on it, it changes the tone. See how it's lightening it up? And the reason it's lightening it up, guess what? It's taking something off. So I can guess what that something is. It's going to be, I'm going to try to use my Scotch-Brite. These are really grand. Scotch-Brites work really good with getting in that detail and prepping and getting the wax and stuff out, which is what, getting a lot of that wax out. Now, I'm talking about not a paste wax, obviously. I'm just talking about the all this Regal stuff in here. This is a lot of detail up underneath this little table. So that's what I like about the Scotch-Brite, is the Scotch-Brite's really flexible, so you can get in those little grooves. And I'm a stickler for cleaning my pieces. Clean up and down the legs. Let that cleaner, I put it on, I mix my cleaner a little bit on the heavy side. And the reason I do that is I let my cleaner pull that stuff off. I don't want, it makes it so much easier for me to get a good coat of paint on my pieces when I've got my prep. There I went and flicked my, I'm gonna take this clean towel now, y'all see? It's nice and clean. I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna wipe my cleaner off. So yeah, I would say this wood is gonna bleed red or pink. It's gonna bleed through your pieces. You see what I'm getting off? Yeah, that doesn't look like a lot, but that's probably enough of product, which I'm thinking is wax. So my best guess is Old English, because that was one of the most popular ones with the ladies. And putting that Old English on, because Old English kind of had a little color to it. So if your piece had a little scratch or something to it, it would kind of cover it. So that was kind of a trick in the day. And maybe even is still widely used today. I don't know. I don't use it, obviously. But, so I want to get in here, and this is going to clean the grunge and the grime off. And it's going to leave your piece somewhat dulled. And that's a good thing, because we want it dulled, because when you are cleaning it and having it dull your paint as well, and then you come in and give it a light sanding, or I call it just kind of scuff sanding, it will make your paint, give your paint the opportunity to adhere better. And you can see how my rag is getting, see how I'm working all that off. This is what we don't really want to paint in to our pieces. And I just use I use the Scotch-Brite. I implement that. Everybody does it, but that Scotch-Brite helps take the shine down too. And it will give you a, let me set that aside, because I did flick my scouring pad. Now my whole floor is wet under there with the spray, because I did spray it under there. So I'll use my towel when I'm done and kind of clean this up. I know it seems kind of dark. Maybe if I can hold it like this, you guys can see up a little closer up under here, and you can see that ornate. See how it's kind of changed the color of the piece? You can see it kind of come out more. And that's what I want to do, because I'm going to have to get my brush all up in there. Now, if you spray, I keep throwing my Scotch-Brite. If you spray paint, this would be a good table for that, obviously, because then you wouldn't be trying to get your brush up in under these grooves. But if you are, I suggest the oval medium brush. It's going to make it easier because it's a little bit narrow. So I just kind of work it in this piece. Just work it in the cleaner, work it in all the grooves, let it do its job. I mean, it's going to clean, and I know it's harder to see on this, but these are all grooved, all these little grooves. So to me, it's important. That's why I say yes. I do prep. This is called prepping your piece, getting it good and clean, making sure that you don't have a bunch of stuff in between. Bunch of wax, dirt, grime, all the years of what's been going on with this piece, where it's been moved to, where it's been stored, all that fun stuff is all in your prep, coming off in your prep. So I'm just wanting to make sure that I can get in there and get that off. And that's just on the bottom half that I'm working. Let's move this around a little bit, because we'll let it dry up, obviously, because I got it good and wet. I did give her a good soaking with my cleaner up in here, because I knew people would be, that's where your dust and your grime and everything's just going to kind of sit. Kind of spin it around a little bit. Just kind of working on these legs. You can see how it's changed. See how it's changed the color? It's kind of lightened the color of the wood there. So let's go back to here and see how this looks dark. So let's just kind of add this here. I see a little imperfection here on the leg, which I'm not worried about. I'll just implement our Dixie mud. Get some Dixie mud in there and you'll be none the wiser. We'll fix her up. I'm using my Scotch-Brite here. I'm not being overly gentle. I am applying some pressure. That's why I sent my Scotch-Brite flying a while ago, because I do put some pressure on it. So I want to clean all of that out. See how it's really lightening the color of that wood? Maybe you guys can kind of see that on there. It's kind of hard when we're doing these lives, I know, for you guys to see exactly. But I want you to realize the importance of your cleaning. So that you get your best results. So yes, I do prep my piece. So to me, no prep. I know you're not gonna have to sand this whole piece. I would hit, especially on the shinier stuff, I would definitely kind of hit that. See how clean, how that changed the tone of that wood? It really knocked it down. It's not near as bright, or as, I should say, as dark as it was. Maybe if I spin it around here, you can really see how it's took that down. It's took the shine down. It's knocked the sheen off. And I'll come in here ever so lightly with the, again, like I say, with my little bit of sandpaper, maybe a 220 grit, and even knock it down a little bit more, because what we're trying to do in this process is we're trying to give the paint something to adhere to, right? We want our paint to stick. So the purpose of cleaning your piece is, don't worry about this. We're gonna address that in just a minute. We're gonna get in there and take care of that. Let's figure what this is. I think that might have been a repair on this table right there. That doesn't look like it is part of the show, if you will. Part of what this piece had going for it, but it's there now, so. But when we paint it, you won't notice it. Look at what we're getting off. I mean, obviously we're getting some grunge and grind off of this. Just being a little careful around the veneer there. Like I say, I think that's a veneer repair. Looks like to me. This is an old table. It's been around the block, obviously. Let's get us another dose of our cleaner. So this is just a process. This is a process that I do on all my pieces. Nothing comes in here that doesn't get prepped and cleaned and prepared. And I know we did a lot of in our beginning videos, so this prep, but not everybody's had a chance to see that, so that's why I'm kind of going back over it, because I have newbies all the time that have never painted a piece, don't realize, oh, I'm going to use chalk paint because it says no prep, no sanding. The prep is the cleaning. Some pieces you can escape by on without doing that. But like I said to some of the customers that are doing your own piece, if you're doing it yourself, you really want it to last. So I wouldn't want to skip the prep, because if I want it to last, now I'm doing it myself, I'm putting my time in, putting my money in, and I'm putting my effort in. So I want to reap the reward of doing it myself and being able to look back and be proud of the project that I completed. And so it's only going to be as good as the prep you put into it. So that's like with anything in life. It's about the journey, really. The time that it took you, what you're doing. It's about, getting there. It's about, sticking it out, and always, it always feels better at the end when you've accomplished something that you've been working on, because you put the time and the effort into it. Nothing, what is that saying, right? Nothing not worked for, nothing gained, or something like that. I forget the way they say that. Nothing earned is, nothing gained is from something earned. I can't remember, but anyway, y'all know what I mean. So, gotta earn it. So now I'm gonna just do the top. I'm gonna point y'all up. So yeah, this is a little bit of a little more time consuming, because the table's a little bit ornate underneath. So you notice I'm not spraying that toward my painted pieces. I'm definitely keeping them away from my painted pieces. And I'm gonna stand up and put a little elbow into it.